in the flesh on the CNN set.
I can't believe it.
Thank you.
Brooke,
it is so nice to see you.
Listen, if
again.
it wasn't for sunblock, we'd all be the same color, and we'd all be happy.
I believe when I saw that clip and your dig at political correctness, you know who you have something in common with?
I don't.
There is a certain Donald Trump who says the exact same thing.
Well,
Are you aware of this?
People say that Donald Trump is good for comedians. The one thing I admire about Donald Trump is he does not apologize. He is politically incorrect. He goes after people. He attacks people. He's not fodder for comedians, Brooke. He is a comedian, okay? He makes believe to be himself, his own publicist. I've done that. He says of his prowess with women. I've done that. I did it earlier. He says that the taco bowl at the Trump Tower is the best taco bowl in the world. Comedy.
Did you then never take him seriously? Like when
I've never
first
taken him seriously.
Last summer?
Absolutely not. I mean, listen, the one thing that he's done that Latinos have not been able to do is get us to unite against him. And there are some Latinos that are for Trump.
Yeah.
There's Venezuelan and Colombian people who don't like Mexicans. It's, the Mexican is 52% of the vote coming up in this election. So you have to be careful with us because everything that people touch, we touch first, and we could destroy the food chain with just one call.
But this is incredibly serious, though, as far as the fact that, a massive group in this country has coalesced behind this one particular presumptive nominee.
Presumptive.
Presumptive. And so, I imagine with you and other Hispanics that when he launched and said what he did about Mexicans being rapists, that infuriated you. But is there anything more? I mean, if you can, take him seriously. We are taking him seriously. This is somebody who could be elected as president. What other beef do you have with him?
Well, I believe that to make America great, you need all people here. I don't believe that targeting Mexicans as criminals and rapists is the answer. I don't believe that building a wall is an answer. I believe to reform immigration laws, which continue to get passed to administration. That's why we've come to, hey, let's build a wall. There's tunnels underneath. I took one over here. I ended up in New Jersey, got out, took an Uber here.
But I'm bummed.
But I'm bummed. But you know what? The wall is very prehistoric. We fly and we take cars. But a lot of us are here legally and we're citizens. Yeah. I'm a citizen. Yeah. My citizenship is just as good as his. I may not look like him, but that guy can't tell me to go back to where I came from because I'm from here.
You mentioned the Taco Bowl tweet. This is from Cinco de Mayo. It's a tweet shared all around. And, even Jeb Bush actually weighed in on this. I don't know if you heard about this yesterday. You are a CNN nerd, so I'm sure you were watching.
I saw it.
But the fact that Jeb Bush is saying this is the equivalent of, Donald Trump eating watermelon and saying, I love African Americans, which is a pretty strong statement.
That's a tough one, yeah.
When you saw this picture, did you see it in real? Did you follow Donald Trump on Twitter?
I do follow Donald Trump on Twitter, and I'm really hard on him, trying to get him to block me. He will not block me, and I will continue to go hard on him. You have to
when you saw this,
you have to read what my ansher was to this.
I
can't say it on
CNN,
but that thumb is absolutely in the right place. But this is an important election because I'm not sure anybody really wants either of them. So Bernie Sanders is still in the race, and he will be until all the votes are counted. You can't have people on TV saying he should drop out. We'll let the voters decide whether he should drop out. But he is incredibly behind, but he has a lot of energy. And listen, I'm 55. I can't get my 20-year-old daughter to do anything in the house. Here's a guy that's in his 72.
Energizing all kinds of young people.
Energizing young people. I saw it in 2008. From a much younger guy, but this is something to admire.
I was sitting at dinner with a bunch of people last night, and we were all sort of trying to figure out, over the course of the last 8 years, let's just consider within the Obama presidency, what has happened to create such frustration? To get groups together, whether you are supporting a Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders, I mean, you go to those rallies, people are passionate, they feel it, so much of politics is feeling. You tour the country?
Yes, the immigration is a huge problem.
But the frustration, George.
But the frustration is that this administration did not do much in that regard, so it carries over to the next one.
It's not just immigration. It can't be.
No, it's not. It's the economy as well. It's the economy. It's immigration. It's safety. It's jobs, healthcare. It's all of the things that. Listen, you didn't have unity across the aisles, and I think that fracture between the president and the House caused a lot of these problems that are going on right now.
You're following what's happening in Nevada with the convention chair being threatened and what happened there, and fears that can continue, and folks calling on Bernie Sanders to say more than just condemn that sort of violence.
Right.
I mean, do you think he should do? You're a Bernie supporter, am I wrong?
I am a Bernie supporter, but I believe that there are some things that are not favorable towards Bernie, but he can't control his supporters. No one can do that. I mean, they're off on their own.
But as a leader, he could speak up at all these rallies and say
he has said it's not right. And also, I think between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, they could come to making peace with this themselves and say, this isn't good. Let's go forward without that, without throwing chairs and without doing all that stuff.
What's your biggest, before we take a break, and then I want to ask you about Prince, just following.
My biggest issue is that this country is made of all different kinds of people. Immigration and people from other countries built this country. There is not one souled look that this country is made up of, and we're stronger when we all are together, and there's a lot of dissension and hate even because of Twitter and social media, and I believe that Donald Trump is at the forefront of dividing people.
Do you think at all, do you worry at all as a Sanders supporter, if and when he is out, that these young Sanders folks will go Trump?
I don't think they'll go Trump. But also, I said on the record that I would move back to Mexico if Donald Trump became president. And they asked me where, and I will not tell you where, just so real estate prices don't drive up. I found a nice place. I don't want everybody to go there and start buying, so I'm keeping that one under my hat.
I'm hearing laughter. Will you stick around? I'm not quite finished with you, George Lopez. We're going to talk about Prince, when you had this incredible interview with Prince on your show a couple of years ago, and what led you to help his family recently.
I almost wore that too, by the way. I almost wore that.
You didn't wear the crushed red velvet and the blue,
red velour,
purple shoes. We'll be right back.
Cut you some slack, right?
No. What all the other late night talk shows are asking themselves, why?
The first time I was on the Alamo Awards, you showed me love there. I really appreciated it. And also, I find that this show represents all people. Yes. And I see all kinds of guests on here.
Back with me, George.
That's why
Lopez.
it's not on anymore, because it appealed to all people.
Oh,
come on.
We're going to get to your TV show on TV Land. Hang on a second.
What was I thinking?
But Prince became a friend.
Yes, Prince was a hilarious guy. He was a loving guy. He almost had like his own bat phone. Like even if you didn't see him, he would send messages to you.
So I've heard, like show up in the lobby at this place. I'll have a car here. We'll go here. Yeah.
The fact that you could wear those heels and do shows up until 5, 6 in the morning is unbelievable.
Tell me a Prince story.
He let me use his microphone when I introduced him at the Forum, and
which is like never done ever.
Never done. Everybody backed away. But also, he would pop up on stage like a minute after leaving the stage in a new outfit. Nobody knew that he was riding a bike under the stage to his dressing room and getting back on with his platforms, high heels, riding a bike. Brooke, no one knows that one. He had a bike, he went by me, rang the bell, got up on stage, went back, got on the bike, went the other way, changed clothes, came back.
Tell me about this. Tell me about this donation that you made a couple of weeks ago to help his family.
Yeah, you know, somebody in the family reached out to me, and they were devastated clearly that they had lost their brother, and they had no resources to get from the VA hospital to Minneapolis to represent themselves in court. And you know, I did it for Prince as a friend of his, as a lover of his music. And the fact that when something sudden happens like that people aren't prepared. You know, not just Prince's family, but people aren't prepared for something that devastating to happen to you. And all I did was help them get a suit to go to the legal meeting to decide how the estate would be. That's all. And then I asked for, you know, a cane in return. No. They could pay me back. They couldn't pay me back. I don't care, Brooke. I love him so much. You know, we have such an affinity for his music. It's part of our lives. And I would have done it for anybody that I loved. Even you, Jeffrey Lord, no. But you, yes.
Well, I still have you for 30 more seconds. Tell me about your TV show on TV Land.
You know, this TV show is, the guy at TV Land, Keith Cox, said, I want to see you that no one else sees.
It's really a stretch. You're playing yourself.
I'm playing myself, but I'm playing myself with real issues. Issues with women. I call the police on myself when I have a party that people are having too much fun at. So this is
that never happens in real life?
Absolutely, but I'm always alone a lot too, eating cereal, crying. But also that this one is the one that's closer to me than anything else. And I look like El Chapo and Colonel Sanders had a baby, but that's on purpose.
But that's on purpose.
Can I say hi to Arsenio? I made it, Arsenio!
Arsenio! Where are you, Arsenio?
I made it!
You know what I'm saying? George Lopez, thank you so much.